Hitchcockian.
Hitchcockian, the shadow coming over the pens there. So Andrew and I are going to wax poetic or not about these various
I'm going to do shadow puppets.
You're going to do shadow puppets, okay.
I hope they can see that. Can you see that, viewer? Viewers at home?
Viewers at home, I don't know if you can see it. But just, again, start scribbling with these. I did find that Thomas Edison, his signature looks like this with this big T that goes over.
Oh, does it?
Yeah. Everything else is really boring, but the T has that big thing that goes on. So I have a half dozen pens here, each with slightly different nibs and different weights and different feels and different looks. And I've never really spoken with Andrew about things other than the point and how the pen makes a line on the page, but maybe we can talk a little bit about the way the pen looks or how it feels in the hand or the balance it has.
It's so much, what a difference a day makes, because it's almost, I feel like it's allowed me in now.
That one is? Okay, yeah. Well this is the pricklier one, so let's see what that one will. It's right over here, or a little bit more in.
Oh, it's on there.
You're still on there. It's just that the center is here. Here's the center. So right with that one. You've written with this one, and what do you think? Tell me what you think that one is going to be like when you write with it.
What should I write?
Well, anything you want. Same thing.
What's fun about Nico's picks the words he chooses to write down. God damn you, motherfucking asshole!
Well, you can write that.
Yeah, I'll try that.
Or if you want to be polite, fornicate.
See, I made it.
Fornicate.
You make those. Oh, I made a J. I can't get this right. God damn.
You really, I mean, it's not just the writing the word God damn, but you really press down hard.
I'll try not to. Let's see. Is it? Yeah, because you skate more lightly if you do.
Yeah, pretend you're playing the piano and you've got some pianissimo stuff going on. I mean, how would you?
I'm being much.
I mean, part of the fun of using a fountain pen that has a flexible nib is pressing down hard and getting a fat line.
Yes,
part
I think
of
that's what I'm
whispering.
going for.
So also
There's
you can whisper.
Dynamics. Oh, you've taught me a lot.
Okay. Now this one is thinner and more prickly than that one, but I don't know whether you can tell that.
This
in your writing. I mean, there's some finer line. That's a finer line than that.
I was going to ask you.
Yeah, but
you're also. I think it's a hand thing. Did I just do that?
You did that.
Oh,
see, you're gesticulating.
Oh, it's in the guidebook. Never ever gesticulate with a pen, right?
No, don't gesticulate.
I told you to have it on my desk by Thursday, right?
So,
well, those are pretty though.
Yeah, they're
wasteful.
They'll come in handy. I'm just wondering if you felt if there's any difference you feel between the way these two pens
evolved enough to tell you. I can't really tell.
I'm going to give you a different pen then. I'm going to give you this one. Now, this one is very fine. It goes from there to there, but the lightness.
But it's you, Pierre. You're doing that because you're the master. You have the touch.
Well, let's get a new page.
I'm trying to make it dark enough.
Well, just try to be gentle.
Okay.
Pianissimo, isn't that the right word in piano?
It is,
for being very quiet.
Absolutely.
So try to be pianissimo with that. Start out pianissimo. Let's start out with a soft Debussy piece or something.
Okay.
Dee 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 dee.
Oh, Claire de Lune?
Or something. I don't know. Just start off.
Okay.
You're not doing anything. That's too quiet when you're not doing anything.
I can't spell.
But
this one is so much more elegant. But look how lousy that is.
Well,
that's lousy. That sucks. But you do soft, hard, you know when to.
I do know when to do that.
It's in your hand. It's in your.
Well, I'm just, if how you write is to be forever pounding away, then that's not the pen for you. No, see, you don't want to do that.
That sound is bad, isn't it?
It's just you're being more aggressive with this pen than you need to be. This pen is demanding you to play softly. I mean, I think that's part of its nib. That's part of its charm.
But this looks pretty much like how I write when I use a fountain pen. So
Yeah.
is this my way of writing?
You write that way. Now, when you draw, do you draw differently, do you think, than if you were writing? Now, again, because you're
It's a
drawing,
different thing, yeah.
you're don't go uphill with it. Remember the rules of not pressing down when you're going up. But if you were to draw something, maybe that's going to change your feeling about this pen.
I also try to just have it flow out of me and assume that the pen will obey my commands.
Yeah.
I think those are my exigencies. That's what I mean.
Well,
Do you know what I mean? Why should I think about the pen? The pen is here.
that's
to please
true.
me.
Why? That's true. God, I'm going to take that away before
Not
you
a
break
lot.
it. Because,
Really?
well, you're doing.
I'm harder than that.
You're playing with this in a very aggressive manner, and there's a friend of mine is in Philadelphia that I stay with.
It's like
He
banging
writes
on
with he's a lefty, and he writes with a hook like this, and I just shudder every time he writes with. He's a pen collector, and he loves writing with fountain pens, but I just feel so badly for the nibs because I'm waiting for the tines to break apart or the.
Have you seen it happen?
I haven't, thankfully, but this is a pen that I think suits your
My brutality.
brutishness. Again, right there.
I mean, I
Right
try
here, or in the middle there, because it has a very rubbery nib. Maybe it's too broad.
I'm still bad.
You're writing a little bit. We're both writing a little bit unnaturally because the piece of paper is in the middle of the table and we're way at each end.
But this might as well be a
I would-
ballpoint. Look at that. Look at those. There's no variation of anything. Like you have.
Like I'm able to give it.
There's no variation. I'll give you a crayon.
Well, try this one. This is maybe similar to the first ones we tried, the Peter's pens.
It's real swell. Is that late 30s?
30s, yeah.
Well, maybe I'll just do pure thing. This is a lovely pen.
Yeah, that has a soft, smooth
Yeah.
nib, and it seems to write how you normally would write.
I'll try my signature.
Now that
Look how. See, that's interesting.
That's the Z, and there's the I,
And there's different.
and there's the Lara.
Yeah, and there's thickness and thinness, right? Isn't
Yeah,
that what we're
yeah.
supposed to do?
Yeah, that's the first pen you've looked at where you've commented on the way the pen looks, not on the nib. You didn't.
Oh, I think
you
they
didn't.
all look fabulous. They
Well,
all-
no, but this one stopped you, and you looked at the stripes.
this looks
on
like a
it or something.
Jaguar or something. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's most pen collectors, that's what they look at. They don't really care about what the pen
Really?
writes like. But I'm just wondering why.
Each one implies a different thing. I mean, this is the captain of the Hindenburg. That's his work.
And look at
And
the
this
nib
is
on that one too. That's also the captain
Very
of the Hindenburg.
serious.
And it's
But this is signing for the steamer trunks in Majorca.
yeah. Try writing with this one. Now this doesn't have any flexibility at all,
I think I don't like those. I think I know that much.
but you might like the fact that it's Johnny One Note, and the note that it can sing is this, and oh, poor Johnny One Note. But would you ever find a reason to use that pen for anything?
It works great. But, look at the writing is sort of it could be a ballpoint.
Yeah.
So this is where I come in. I have to learn the art a little bit.
Well, I use pens like this when I actually have to think about the words I'm writing, not how pretty they look. Mm-hmm. But if I'm planning
That's a workhorse.
something,
It's an
I will.
office pen.
This will keep my mind focused on the task.
That's
where
at the
this makes
office.
me want to doodle and
Yeah.
draw and get
The
distracted.
secretaries have these pens.
The secretary.
The boss has these, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they don't have to think. They just have to write their signatures, sign the checks.
And
But
do you find often that these gold things get worn down?
they get worn down and they can look kind of nasty. But I don't normally. That doesn't bother me too much.
And they imply the era they're from too. So, I mean, to you more than me, but this one looks almost 40s.
That's 40s. Yeah.
Yeah. This is probably Edwardian or whatever.
Well, that's the 20s. Teens.
Is
and
it 20s?
Teens and 20s. Yeah. Anyway, it's just there's so many things that go into my enjoyment of a pen that I think you would appreciate maybe in another year or two of if you had suddenly 20 pens at your desk and they were all different enough. Mm-hmm. At the end of a year, and if you used them all off and on, you'd gravitate towards some and and ignore others. But if you did write with all of them in the course of a year, I think you'd find, oh my God, there is a purpose for this pen, and this is, I don't know what purpose you would have for it, but it might be very different than the purpose for that one. Now, I know you're a epistler.
What's that?
Letter writer. You.
Yeah, but you said.
Yes. You write it. You like to write letters, and but do you use a pen and paper to just write down things other than a shopping list? Do you write ideas that you might have for what you'll do in the future, or is that just?
I have my favorite ballpoints. I know you're.
Oh my God! How can you even?
Why? Slap me
what would
storm
make?
off.
What would?
I'm a mere mortal. I'm not in the pantheon.
What would make a ballpoint a favorite? I'm just
Fine Point Pilot, I think it's called.
Okay.
It writes real good, and the one that I did love, which it did everything upside down every which way. They've discontinued, so of course everything I like is discontinued. The story of my life.
Yeah. Yes. So this pen, for example, could perhaps take the place of the ballpoint.
But I do like the serifs and the perifs.
Okay.
But I have to learn that, don't I? I'm going to draw a picture. I'm going to do a character of Bette Davis.
Okay.
In the formulaic way I did. And see if I can still do it like I did as a wee queerling.
What a dump. No. That's not what she said. That's what Martha said she said. Martha. Chicago. No. That movie. Oh, I see the bit. I can see the Bette Davis there in that.
Oh, I can even do a little. Yeah, I'm going to make it penny. Look, that was clever. Wow, it's been 40 years, but it looks more like a Charlie Brown. It's Charlie Brown.
Bette Davis meets Charlie Brown.
Linus, get in here. It's Christmas. What you get me? You crumb bum.
Your dog pooped in my pool again.
Charlie Brown, you think you're depressed? Do you?
Do you know? Oh, funny.
I'll never forget my movies, and I'll never let you forget my movies. I'm bringing out. I got some drawer open up now.
Yes, I'm sorry. The floodgates are open.
Floodgates, 1979.
And what do you think of this pen? And I'm giving you this one because it's.
Sorry.
This is a pen that Todd Merrill likes. He likes those pens. Todd Merrill.
This is Calvin Coolidge.
It's the Gold Fill Wall Eversharps what I find interesting about this is they're very thin, which is sort of neat, and then the length of that is all just a cylinder, and this is almost as narrow as that. So I find that I can actually hold the pen comfortably like this, so it's way out in front of me.
Oh,
I saw a picture of.
How do you feel about the weights? Do you feel the weights?
Oh, no, thank you very much. I don't. The weight. I don't normally think about that. I might think about the balance.
Yeah.
But I don't think about the weight so much. One of the things, though, that I watched a movie on YouTube of my favorite artist, who is Saul Steinberg.
Yes, of
as
course.
you know.
Yes, I do.
And he uses a dip pen, but he holds it like here. The point is here, and he holds it way back. And it just was amazing for me to see that. And I've been trying to do that as well, where I just, and it's great because he can see the entire drawing because his hand isn't in
Can you
the way.
get the variety of stroke and stuff?
Yeah, well, he certainly can, and you can if you practice. One can if one practices. There's Betty. She's lost some weight.
Yeah. I had it down pat, but I've lost my obsession with her over the years.
Now, who are you obsessed by now? In the
Well,
same
you know
way.
who really lasted was Ginger Rogers. She's really good in everything. I know she's overlooked, but she's just not as kabuki scary as...
This has nothing to do with anything. Do you like Oscar Levant? Do you find his humor fun?
A little bit. I read his books, A Smattering of Ignorance, and he wrote like 3. My Life. His first book was My Life, or The Autobiography of George Gershwin. Because he was always the second fiddle.
Yeah. I like what he said about Doris Day. I knew her before she was a virgin.
He has some really good lines. But, you know, on those old black and white TV shows, those panel shows, he's frightening.
Yeah,
I'm going to die of an overdose right here.
Yes, he does. He does scare one.
He really was clinging, white-knuckling reality. And the studio's filled with smoke.
Yes, very much. Now look at my side of the page is always messy. Your side of the page is always legible.
No, those always remind me of the Da Vinci wave drawings or the Dürer grass fields.
Sometimes Van Gogh.
Van Gogh,
grass
you know what?
fields.
Let me ask you this: how do you? Because now that you mention it, and you talked about how Van Gogh's strokes, even because he did some ink drawings, didn't he?
He did a lot.
They're
of
very strokey like yours, and you would not say that Van Gogh is an influence of yours. Yet, don't you think he is?
Well, he is certainly.
Admit it.
I admit it, Your Honor. Mr. Berger, isn't it true?
You're guilty. No, I'm just saying that sometimes you're influenced by artists that you don't necessarily care for.
I love his drawings. I am ambivalent about his paintings.
Yeah, me too.
It's his drawings that are amazing.
But like, I think John Miro influenced me in a way for a period, and I never really thought I needed him for anything. I think he just got in. You know what I mean? Yeah, there you go.
Look at that stuff.
Yeah.
And this one, I mean, these are, you can tell what color this is supposed to be by looking at his, it's like the dots mean light green, the dashes mean dark green, but there's one here, I think it's this one. Is that a train in the background? Where he can't draw a train.
Oh, really?
You know, it's like a little child drew the train. I don't know if that's
he
the
tried.
one. And
Did he go to school?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
But look at this great stuff. This is just magnificent, all of that.
It really is.
Different.
He's notating it.
Here it is. Here's that awful train.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a child drew it.
It's stuck in there. And this seems stuck on, too.
Yeah. Like,
But figures and landscapes,
look at
it's really
this
hard
stuff.
to get them.
That's right over what I just did.
Yeah, you just drew that. But putting figures in landscapes is very hard. Canaletto did it very, very well. I know he's overlooked, but those people fit exactly in they're the right proportion at all times. They never look, drawn in or plastered on or added to.
What about Constable.
I always kind of flipped past that page.
There was a very nice documentary I saw about him, which was neat. Yeah, landscape.
There's just not enough of anything going on for me.
Yeah. Well,
I need color or stroke or hue or something. I mean, give me a Corot. I'll just
Corot. I can dive into a Corot.
I'll just lick that all day long, or just go into a reverie. You know, you really do. They make you veg out in a way, in a reverie. But Courbet always left me cold. Yeah.
Constable.
The tree. No, Courbet.
Courbet. Oh,
For
yeah,
the
Courbet.
realist,
Yeah,
like, you know.
yeah.
Oh, I have a fun game for you. I don't know if maybe this clip's going on too long, but
No, that's okay.
it's either or. I
Okay.
throw them at you.
No, you played this once
Did
to
I do it
me,
to you?
and it was we were texting. This is when we first re-met via.
Oh, it was
And you were doing this, and I thought, oh God, this is a test whether he's going to want to be friends with me again or
really?
not.
No, it's just fascinating.
Yeah,
No,
it
it
was
tells you who you
Picasso or Brock, or I don't know what you gave me.
No, it's
but-
Picasso or Matisse. This is the
and
speed round.
and I don't know, and I don't know which one I said and whether I got it right.
There's no right or wrong.
I know that, but of the two, I might have to say Picasso because I love his drawing.
That's the right answer.
That's the right answer. Okay, I'll give me another either or then.
Corot or Courbet. They have to be from the same kind of category.
Okay,
You can't
I don't
just-
know enough Courbet, but Corot. I love Corot,
Yeah,
so
okay.
it's hard for me not to even say.
Da Vinci or Michelangelo.
That's a tough one because I really like the fact that Da Vinci's thinking, and he shows us what he's thinking in his drawings.
Mm-hmm.
But if I had to
And he wrote
look
backwards.
if I had to look at a drawing and hang one in my house, it would be a Michelangelo. I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think they're vulgar. But
You do?
right, yeah.
You do?
Da Vinci's like thoroughly within me.
Oh, okay. Well, that surprises me.
I know, me too. My mother gave me two books, and one was Da Vinci and one was Michelangelo. And I flipped through them both, and these are my gods. These are my. I mean, they're both. This is the Dionysius and the Apollo.
Okay. Okay.
So I have both, but I think that I'm more of a Da Vinci type of guy.
Okay, that's interesting. I wouldn't have thought that.
But you need them both. Like you need
Okay, try another either or.
Here's another one.
Are they all art or are they...
Edward Hopper or Grant Wood. The clock's ticking.
Well, now if you said Winslow Homer in there, then I'd be really. I'll do Hopper. Are you a Grant Wood fan?
I'm stuck on that one too.
Oh,
And at the
Interesting.
Whitney, they had Grant Woods that we'd never seen before.
yeah.
They
you
were kind
like-
of cool.
Do you like Birchfield?
Very much. And Arthur Dove.
Arthur
They're-
Dove?
they're
Yeah,
the two.
no.
Are you Arthur Dove or I would say either. Give me either. I'll be fine.
Yeah, I think they're both similar in
Yeah.
a really
Spiritualist
interesting
or
way.
something.
Yeah. There's a woman in this building that does a lot of. I'll show you her stuff on Instagram. A lot of beautiful watercolors that are very Birchfield-y like.
How about Warhol or Rauschenberg?
God, you're asking hard
They're
ones.
good, right? Yeah.
They're good ones. I think I have to go with Rauschenberg.
Rembrandt or Franz Hals?
Oh,
Isn't that hard?
that is hard. I like Franz Hals. I'll go
Me
with
too,
him.
yeah.
I'll go with him.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think so too. Because there's something that bothers me about Rembrandt. Those brown, pasty, blubbery people.
Yes. Franz Hals.
Rubens or Caravaggio?
I'm not a Rubens guy, so I'll do Caravaggio. I'm not really a Caravaggio guy either, but I really don't like Rubens. Am I
I
supposed
think
to?
it was Thomas Eakins who said something like, I want my art, I don't want robes and trumpets and horns and horses and warriors around me every time I wind my watch. Something like that. That was just too grand for him. I paraphrased, but... Oh, these poor people are probably going to be bored to tears. They gave up on us minutes ago.
Well, we've got another. We'll do another 2 minutes. And
Really?
let's say goodbye.
Okay.
And then I'll move this over and we'll put it up there. But here we were starting.
I think I like the moppiest ones of all.
Yeah,
I think that's, and I would tell me if I'm wrong. I think it's this one, right?
that's the moppier
Moppy.
of the two of those.
It's
Yeah.
totally not moppy.
And this one's moppy.
That's
and
moppy.
But this is the one. This is among the ones that you like the best. Is that one?
I think
I'll give you a brand new page for you to play this one.
I'm rude even in my handwriting, I think. Yeah. But that sound is, I feel like you're a nun tisking me for that sound.
No, it's fine. You know what what I was hoping to find. I've got it here somewhere. Is a book that you gave me 40 years ago, whenever it was. The Epigrams of Oscar Wilde.
Mm-hmm.
Remember how you inscribed it to me?
Yes, and it. Please don't put that in public. They don't need to know what a bitch I was.
I think it's great.
I was haughty and beautiful then. Now I'm just bitchy and old and ugly. It's sort
But
of the same.
it said, for Peer, in your... God, here I'm trying to remember it.
Here's to being an interesting person.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah, brush up.
Good luck.
Andrew.
Yeah.
No, brush up.
Brush up.
Yeah, brush up.
Although I heard a new Oscar Wilde.
Yeah.
Oh, Mr. Wilde, why, just the other day we were passing by your house. Oscar Wilde says, thank you very much. Good, right?
It is good.
Well, thanks for bringing
The one I remember is one that, what's his name? Richard Long said in art class was when he was spotted drunk, staggering on the sidewalk. Carriage pulls up and a lady popped her head out saying, Mr. Wilde, I'm shocked. Look at you. You're disheveled. You're drunk. You're staggering. Your penis is sticking out of your pants. And Oscar Wilde says, don't flatter yourself, madam. It is merely hanging. On that note, goodbye, everyone.